Hello, hello, and welcome back to Some Downbreaker Tarot today with your host Carmilla per usual. So, I'm really excited today. As you see, there are no cards. So, what I'm going to be doing today is doing a channeled message. So, we do have two decks that I'll be using for confirmation. And funny enough, the confirmation is more so for me than for the viewer, so that I know that I'm on the right frequency. But, to put it plainly, I feel more aligned with channeling than I do with tarot right now. So I'm going to be diving into that energy and seeing where it takes me. So this actual YouTube channel and what I offer as a whole may be transitioning, but we'll see. We'll play with it and see what is coming through and how I sit and fit in the positioning in the frequency. So we have 4 piles today per usual. I love my 4 piles. And the cards that we'll use today for any types of confirmation will be the Unicorn Oracle and the Work Your Lights. So 4 piles today. We have, and I want to call them like 4 frequencies. So we have 4 different frequencies that we'll be working with today. And these frequencies, they all seem like they're playing with this notion of grace, of levity, relieving pressure, peace, finding inner peace. They all seem like they'll have a message similar to that. And before I go into that too, I want to make a little blurb about collective messages. I like to put those at the beginning, but with this type of energy, I'm feeling more so at the end, or maybe even their own type of videos. So again, still transitioning, still figuring it out, but work in progress. So I'm really excited for this energy today and see what we get during these readings. So for frequency number 1, we have black tourmaline. And these messages are just messages that you need. So just think of the frequency as you're tuning your radio to that channel to receive what it is that you need. Because if you turn into a channel that you're not interested in, then it won't be interesting. See what I'm saying? So frequency number 2 with clear quartz. Frequency number 3 with honey calcite. And then frequency number 4 with our selenite dragon scale. This is so cool. So do whatever beautiful, fun, witchy thing you need to do in order to get you in the mood. And I will see you in your divinely channeled messages for today. I don't know why I said it like that. Just ignore that, but I'm keeping it. See you there, friend. Hello, hello, group 1. For all those who are tapping into the energy of black tourmaline with this first frequency here, this will be your channeled reading. So let's dive into this energy and see what it is. It's so interesting not doing this with cards because it does take more stretching for me, and I feel like that's exactly what spirit and my guides want. To not have like the tarot cards as a crutch, because they make it extremely like easy. Let's dive into this black tourmaline. Okay, for those who chose black tourmaline, what is mainly being affected right now is your sacral chakra and your heart chakra. They're undergoing some things. They're doing some things together. They're working something out. And while you're watching this reading, it would be super beneficial to imagine those 2 chakras in that space. And I would say too, like, imagine that side of your heart. Like, imagine the left side of your chest. Imagine the kind of lower abdomen of the bottom of your belly, and breathe air into those spaces. Breathe air into them. What I see happening for frequency number 1 is I see someone who is bouncing between 2 frequencies and trying to, I don't know whether they're using this word, but extrapolate. Like they're trying to take something out of it without like giving to the other. So when it comes to the sacral chakra, we're working with like the joy, the unique, the abundance energy. This is, your unique flavor in life. And then when we're working with the heart, we're working with the your higher power, your connection to source by way of being of service, your connection to source by way of being of the world and experiencing emotions and compassion, things like that. So your heart space is like your way of experiencing the external world internally through the way energy moves through your body. So imagine your heart being that filter. It's the thing that's like sifting and feeling and sifting and feeling different types of emotions and different types of energy. And what I see happening is I see a person who is trying to find some type of levity, like you're trying to find level ground with like this, like there's a separation energy that's happening. What you're doing is placing either so much of the love and responsibility on your heart, so you strip yourself of the things that you want and you need, and you put yourself in a position to be almost like sacrificed to the greater being or the greater good, is what they're saying. And then when you're burnt out on that, because what you're doing is burning energy, you go to your sacral chakra and you place all the responsibility on yourself and all the responsibility on making yourself happy, self-care, joy. And it feels like what will be beneficial for you to understand is that self-love it's a beautiful energy, and self-love really can be a byproduct of how you exist around other beings. When you love yourself and you allow yourself to be your authentic self and to live in your actual authenticity, who you know yourself to be, it like gives other people around you the permission to be the same thing. It's like a reflecting type thing. You see what I'm saying? And there's an energy coming up of someone worried about how this is going to, they're saying like, their energy is saying like, how is this going to affect pre-existing conditioning, pre-existing positioning, like how you're already statured in life. And I apologize for some of these words, but it's what I'm receiving. So I'm just going with, it's how I'm translating the energy that's coming through. So really, what is happening is what's creating the separation is a fear of, they're saying a fear of extrapolating, like a fear of pulling your energy out of places where you are resisting. So places, what they're saying with that is places in which you're resisting. So when your boundaries are meeting and overlapping with another person's boundaries and they don't feel beneficial to you, maybe the other person doesn't see it, but maybe you see it and you feel it. It is important for you to pay attention to that. Pay attention to where the ways in which you allow other people to overstep your boundary, because I see in your heart space really, like what you're doing is you're placing so much of this, like I see some of it like coming through your third eye too. You're placing a lot of this on your awareness or your spirituality, like what you want to be spiritually. So you're saying you want to be selfless, you want to be of service, you want to be this high frequency being. And what you're doing is taking all of your energy and placing it either all on your heart or all on your sacral. So I feel like you are someone who probably deals with some type of like pain in the lower body, sometimes probably a lot of cramping, if especially if you are of the female body and you menstruate, you probably experience some cramping, some hard cramping sometime, because it's what you're doing is you're cramping all of your energy into one space, thinking that is going to propel you to what it is that you're needing, what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're trying to receive. And what's happening is you're stepping into a place of emotional balancing. That's why you're teeter-tottering. So this is a process you're undergoing. I don't want you to think that this is something that you're not capable of doing. It's something that you're actually doing, but what you need is a little more clarity on the how-to. And the how-to is to understand that you do not have to sacrifice self-love for the love of another. And you don't have to sacrifice the love of another for the love of self. It's balancing. It's knowing where your boundaries begin and where they end, where where other people's boundaries are beginning as well. So if there is any conflict between you and another being, it's because your boundaries are overlapping in a place that's causing some friction. And it's really important sometimes for our boundaries to feel some type of abrasion, because sometimes we have false boundaries up, right? Sometimes we have fake boundaries that don't actually need to be there. And what we're actually doing is defending, and we're guarding besides actually protecting, which protecting and defending have two very, very different frequencies. Guarding is, I have something that I'm hiding. I have something that I don't want you to see. It's something, like guarding is more, I don't want to do this thing. It feels a little more offensive or defensive. Like you're defending something that you don't want to see or don't want to deal with, while protecting is protecting your peace. It's protecting yourself. It's protecting your body. It's trusting your body, and it's knowing what you need to live optimally. So there are different energies and different frequencies. And when it comes to protecting too, when you're protecting, you don't really actually feel such a need to devalue others or have something needs to happen at the expense of another or something like that. It's more so of, this is happening because I'm protecting my boundaries and they're in my peace, and they are doing essentially the same thing. Because essentially when you're guarding and you're defensive, you're doing the same thing. It's all about the motivation and the frequency, though. It's all about the frequency and the motivation behind what you're protecting. See what I'm saying? So it's like the intention, that is where the potency actually lives and where you'll find your true answer. So what you're doing is but what you're achieving is emotional balance. What you're doing is emotionally balancing. So you're teeter-tottering. It's a really beautiful energy. And really how you come into this balance is you're finding your own boundaries, and you're finding the boundaries of others. And I feel like the word boundaries isn't the right word to use either, because it has a different frequency to it than some type of defense or protecting or wall. But it's like you need to know when your truth begins and it ends for another. And there's another frequency coming through that. And I actually want to pull a card of confirmation for that, because there seems like there's like a blaming type energy coming through with this frequency as well, that I want to check in with. Because what happens is when you, this is part of this. When you put so much energy into believing what someone else is saying and you act from their truth, what happens is you end up betraying yourself, and then you blame the other as if it wasn't you who made that choice. So I feel like there's a lot. Hold on, I'm going to take a sip of tea. I feel like there's a lot in your body that you're suppressing, and you are looking for answers outside of your own self because that feels better. Like it feels better to look outside of your own self. So the card that flipped out, break the chain, ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. Exactly. So what that card is confirming for me is that you're looking for answers outside of yourself. You're looking for the world to save you. You're looking for someone else to provide the energy for your future. You're looking for someone else to motivate your future. You're looking for someone else to empower you, to move you, to motivate you, which other people around you do that normally and naturally. They see, the other people actually see the worthiness in you. And I feel truly like, it is up to you to see that. What you're doing is breaking this age-old conditioning or change. See, that's why conditioning came up, because you're afraid of what breaking the conditioning means. You're afraid of what it means to live without this level of conditioning that you've lived with your entire life. And that's why I feel so strongly like two separate entities or two separate beings, because it's a being, like, it's this being living free and it's being living in captivity. And currently you're living in captivity and you're looking for someone else outside of you for the key. And other people don't have that key. Other people mirror that key on the outside of you, like, yeah, you're everything you need to be. They can mirror that for you all day long, but if it's something that you're not believing for your own self, then guess what? You're still going to be trapped in that same conditioning. It's a conscious shift that you have to make when it comes to loving and trusting and honoring your own self. This is about self. And the reason why I know this is so strongly about self is because the chakras that are coming up the most for me with your energy is your sacral, your heart, and your third eye. Those are the ones that are really working to but they're really working with you on this process of your awakening. Because what you're doing is awakening to your own truth. And you're stepping out of conditioning, and it's the conditioning that you're facing. So, like, really, when you make a conscious shift to continuously show up for yourself, because I feel like that is what if there is something I have to say that you're not doing, it's continuously showing up for yourself. Sometimes that gets exhausting, especially when it has a lot to do with outside forces. But it's very important that you consistently show up for yourself. I feel like that is what's going to make the difference in your life. And even when I feel actually, especially when it's internal forces, especially when it's doubt, it's important that you feel what you're feeling and then you shift your frequency after. So for example, if you did something like, hey, I just won my first award today, but then doubt creeps in and says, you didn't deserve that award. What did you do? It's okay for you to sit in that frequency and even entertain it if you want, and say, you know what? Let me actually listen. What are you offering me? And then based on what doubt offers you, then you move into what frequency it is that you need. So what is the frequency that you need? Is it doubt? Is it to believe the doubt? Or is it to believe your higher visioning? Because you do have a higher visioning. You do, and you deny yourself that knowing. You want to creep around and play small and think that you don't have this higher visioning and this higher awareness, but you do. So these are the change of conditioning that you're breaking, and it's what you really need to realize, because you're projecting this onto other people outside of you. Like, you're projecting this conditioning onto other people outside of you, and it feels like you're manipulating. It feels very manipulative. It feels as if you're saying, like, you're projecting what other people are saying, as if they don't see something in you that you're not seeing for yourself. It's really weird how the language is coming through, but what you're doing is you're reflecting an energy that you see within yourself that you're hoping that other people expose for you. Does that make sense? What you're doing is hoping that people expose or exploit or pull out an energy that you're purposely suppressing within your own self. You're hoping that someone else does that for you. This is your conditioning, is this hope of a savior or this hope of someone else outside of you doing something for you. When you think this way, this pushes you away from the seat of your power. You're trying to dethrone yourself because you don't want the responsibility of what comes with the great power that you hold. So this is what you're doing. This is your frequency. And I feel like really the beauty of this frequency and what will bring you peace of mind is the clarity of this. This is the understanding that this is true and you know it to be true. And that's why this is triggering you in the way that it is. I feel that this energy is touching spots. It's triggering you and it's pissing you off and it's making you upset. And if you're crying, you're crying. And this is a beautiful thing because you're releasing, you're feeling and you're releasing. If that is happening to you or for you, it's because you're resonating, my dear. It's because you know it's true. What you're doing is hoping that people will expose and pull this thing out of you so that you don't have to do the work yourself. And the beautiful thing about doing this work yourself is that you know how to do it for the rest of your being. You know how to teach it. You know how to work it. You know how to do it. If someone else did it for you and gave you the blueprint, you would have to figure out how they did it. You see what I'm saying? What you're doing is figuring out how to do it for yourself, how to break the chain for yourself, because you see other people around you doing it and they're doing it successfully. So what makes you think that you can't do it? So that really is the truth of what will offer you some peace of mind, because what you're doing is balancing, and where you're stuck at right now is this idea that, oh, I have to be super selfless and everybody outside of me knows everything. Like you have like this twisted, like the way that the energy of compassion in your body is twisted into a knot. And what you're doing is unraveling that knot. And it also is corking something in your soul, and not your solar plexus, but your solar plexus is coming through now. But your sacral chakra, it's corking something in there. Like there's an inner peace and an inner stillness that actually wants to happen in tranquility is what wants to happen in your sacral chakra. And there is just this emotional like blockage, which is an emotional doorway, which you have to consciously decide to step through. What will really help you is, one, stop blaming other people. You have to stop blaming other people. It's not about other people. Other people are a reflection of what you're doing. Other people are reflecting back to you what you're doing to your own self. So I feel like what will help you greatly is to understand that you have to stop blaming other people in a way that villainizes them or makes them like they're the ones who's wrong and I'm right. It's like, yeah, you are right. So you have to hold that frequency within your own self. And when that battle comes to pass internally, you have to actually battle it out there and hold true and hold true and hold true there. I feel like that is what is true for your breakthrough and what in the energy that you're offering and that you're being offered, or the energy that's flowing through you. I feel like you're a super powerful, potent human being. You have all the right tools. You have everything you need. I honestly feel like when you get past this energy of blaming other people and you get out of your own way, I honestly feel like you'll feel a lot more free and you'll step into proper positioning, proper balancing. You'll be in proper balance with what it is that you need. You'll know what you need. You'll know what it is that you need to receive, what you need to feel, what you're processing. You'll like see this more as a process and what you're processing, besides being a victim of or how to or wondering what you're doing wrong. Because what you're really doing is projecting, and what is really happening in your life is reflecting. It's a reflection of what is happening internally, because you have a lot of potential in this life to reach stardom, is what they're saying, stardom. And what you have asked Spirit to do actually is to move you into proper positioning, and that's what's happening. But you're too busy blaming others and feeling like you're a victim of, besides actually seeing what this energy is trying to provide to you. So it's beautiful. So with that 20-minute rambling, actually, you know what? I wasn't going to do this because there's someone else who does this that I really love a lot. But I actually want to pull final outcome for this energy. So I want to pull final outcome from this energy when it comes to this emotional balancing. Sorry about the phone ringing. But there's this energy here. When the phone rang, all I heard was like this scream of like, follow your calling, follow your calling. So that's out there for someone to hear, someone who's resonating. So, wow. That is crazy. So your final outcome card that flew out of the deck while shuffling is passion. Do what excites you. Get fired up about your life. Increase your energy levels. Exactly. Do what inspires you. As in, you know what? Not even do what inspires you. You're doing what inspires you. You're emotionally balancing. You're finding what is true for you, like what sparks you, what lights you up, what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what brings you thrill in life. You're finding what actually turns you on and what makes you feel alive. And I feel like that is the final outcome of this emotional balancing, is you finding that and finding what's true for you. Burning away this old conditioning, really breaking these chains and burning away that old conditioning by following what's true to you, your passion, what is of you and not what is of the other. So beautiful. Oh, look, bottom deck. I have to show you bottom deck. Energy because I love this confirmation. But balance is bottom deck for the unicorn energy. Take time to relax, indulge a little more or less. Set boundaries with your work. So I love that energy, how we have the balancing, balancing coming through over and over again just to be confirmed one more again. So really exciting. So group 1, I really, really hope that you resonated with that frequency. And if you did not, that is completely okay. Take what resonates and the rest will fall away. Maybe this wasn't your frequency and maybe you have another pile out there that's calling to you. Who knows? You know. All right. So I love you so much and thank you so much for allowing me to tap into your energy for this reading today. Thank you so much to Spirit and my guides for coming through and holding down this energy. Very, very grateful for all that they do in our lives. So thank you so much, and I hope to see you next time, group 1. Bye bye. Hello, group 2, for all of us who chose the clear quartz and its frequency. This will be your channeled message for today. Funny enough, I thought these readings would be shorter because I'm not using as many cards, but turns out I just like talking. So shout out to all of you who enjoy hearing me talk. So let's dive into your energy today. Again, just in case you skipped the intro, I will not be using any tarot today. I have 2 decks for confirmation. I have 2 oracle decks. That is all I'll be using. Today we'll be diving into a channeled message and going from there. So I feel like the energy is about peace and levity, but there has been some truth. So like truth that will lead you to that peace that you're seeking. So let's get into this and see what's going on with this frequency. Trust yourself more often. Trust yourself way more often. Because you're right. Because you're right in your positioning. You're right in what you know is true for you. For your internal world, what you're picking up and what is true for you. And it's important for you to express that. And it's important for you to express that for your positioning. It's important for you to tell the truth. It's important for you to stop withholding so much. Like, it's important for you to stop holding back so much. It feels like in this frequency that there's just a lot of truth that you're holding that can be beneficial not only to yourself but to other people as well. And you're withholding it because fear of conflict, fear of losing, fear of being right. I feel like the reason why you withhold the energy is primarily because you have a fear of being wrong or being right, or you have a fear of there being like you hold back because you fear gaslighting. But also what is happening is if you don't allow other people to speak their truth, you're gaslighting as well. So I feel like that is something that needs to be talked about more when it comes to this term of gaslighting, because I feel like it's one of those things that people take and then they use it to play up victimhood and to be the victim and to always perpetuate victim trauma, victim identity without moving outside of that. We are always gaslighting each other all the time. If someone says this is true for them and this is what they're experiencing, and someone else says, well, this is what I'm experiencing, neither of you are wrong. Neither of you are wrong. Both of you are processing energies at your current state or level of awareness. If someone cannot see the way in which they're harming you, or they are choosing not to, that is a choice that they're making. And it is important to understand that you have to make a decision for yourself, not based on what they're delivering, but based on what is true for you. If you're like, this person is going to continue hurting me and I just can't handle this, then guess what? You have to make that choice. Because I feel like you're afraid of gaslighting, you're afraid of being gaslit, or you're afraid of people not taking responsibility. But what you're actually like doing when you say that is you are trying to, like, you want the narrative to be shifted in your favor. Like, you want people to bend to your will. You want all the control in the situation, is what you're saying. That's exactly what you're saying. You're saying that you want all the control in the situation, and you're not going to get it because you can't control other people's level of self-awareness. You can't control other people's positioning. You can't control what other people are consuming, how they're processing, what they're experiencing emotionally. Like, you don't know what is going on within someone's body throughout a given day. The same way they don't understand that. For you, that is what you know, and that's for you to know, and that's for you to share if you feel it is worthy of sharing, if it will heal or help your relationship. So I feel like with group 2, the beauty in all this is the secret lies within what you're withholding. The secret lies within the truth that you're withholding, in expressing it and allowing it to be out, allowing it to exist without you, allowing it to be free. Because you're not like the thing is that you want people to bend to your will. So you want to go up to someone and say, like, you hurt me or you did this to me, and you want someone to get on their hands and knees and beg for mercy. That's what you want. But that's not what's happening, because we're all processing energy. We're all doing things all the time. And we're operating out of defensiveness, out of conditioning, out of our current level of self-awareness, and blah, blah, blah. Like, you're putting too much weight on, what you're doing is putting the victory in how they react, rather than putting the victory in your own courage and your own bravery to speak up for yourself and to release what you're withholding, to move past the fear. That's where the victory should be. The victory is not in your victimhood or your identifying with being the victim. Your victory is speaking your truth and allowing your truth to materialize, to exist without you. Without your withholding, without your micromanaging, without your editing, without your auditing. I don't know why they're saying auditing. But it's important that your truth exists without you. You know, like, it doesn't need your coddling. It doesn't need your constant editing or shape-shifting. And that's what's really, really true, because people need the truth from you. They need rawness. They don't need the coddling. It's like, it's that reflecting energy again. It's like the same thing that you're doing to yourself, you're doing to other people. They don't need that coddling energy. They don't need the enabling. People don't grow if you enable them. Really, truthfully. I see, okay. So solar plexus was coming through like at the very end of our last reading, and I see now how it's coming through here. There's a healing or cleansing going on with your crown chakra. I see like heart chakra energy going up there, like just like this emerald green energy, like washing over it. And it's really, really benefiting your solar plexus. Like how you work with your power, your trust in self, your will, your bravery, your courage. I feel like this energy is asking you to be a little more courageous. Like, it's asking for like the victory they're saying, like, allow the victory to be within self, not in someone else's illusionary actions or someone else's actions. because it's illusionary. How they're reacting is illusionary. It's an illusion. Because truly, 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 at the seat of it, at the seat of the soul, everything that you're experiencing on the outside of you is a mirror of the world and all the energies in your body that you're holding or withholding, and you're sharing as well. So everything is a reflection back to you what you're experiencing. And I know that's hard for people who've experienced deep trauma to sense and tap into, because they've experienced deep trauma and they want to feel justified in what they're feeling, and they want people to be held accountable. I am not stripping anybody of accountability. I'm not saying that people shouldn't take accountability or responsibility for what they're doing or how they're affecting other people. They absolutely should. But what you're doing is putting the victory in how other people take responsibility and how other people take accountability, when really the truth is in how you're doing that for your own self. Sorry about that, group tooth. Yeah, this is back to the frequency. It's the breakthrough is knowing that you hold the victory. That the success is within you. You hold the victory. That, like, if you, like, honestly, with marinating and sitting in that, just like, you hold the victory. This is, and that's without devaluing somebody else's experiences, or like, oh yeah, karma's gonna get them, or being really vengeful. And that's not the energy that we're doing. This is knowing that you should be and feel so proud of yourself for trusting your inner knowing, for doing what's right for you, and for trusting your own body and your own intuition, your own instinct. This is about knowing what is true for you and not trying to wiggle around it so that you keep certain relationships alive or so that you keep certain things alive, because of what you're doing when you do that is you're enabling. And you're not allowing people to feel raw truth that is coming from you, which is it's a beautiful thing actually when it does. So really what you're doing is coddling, enabling, in a way that you're trying to say that someone's behavior is satisfactory and it's not, or even your own behavior is satisfactory and it's not. And you're afraid of them gaslighting and be like, well, I do this, and that is irrelevant to you. How they respond is irrelevant to what is true for you. What you can do is find truth in what they're saying, compassion and understanding, because you would want someone to do the same thing for you. But that does not null and void your own truth in the truth of what you're experiencing. And I feel like you'll be able to work out a lot of kinks in your relationships, be them romantic, be them, platonic, work. I feel like you'll be able to work out a lot of kinks in your relationships and how you connect with and communicate with other people if you sit back and relax and understand that this is not about who's gaslighting who's the victim, who's the perpetrator, blah, blah, blah. This is about, there's a level of codependency on victimhood too. This is about like releasing that victim mentality and allowing yourself to stop like withholding. Because when you're with, like they're saying, like when you withhold, you're enabling. And this too is why you feel like your boundaries are always being super crushed and super not respected and stuff like that. Because like you're allowing people to overstep their boundaries, and then you want to play victim after the fact. Holding the victory within you feels very delicious. It's so delightful. The truth is just knowing that the victory and the success is within you, and you don't have to worry about what other people are doing as much. So I want to pull a Work Your Light card and see where we are with that energy. See if there's any type of confirmation we need on this. Yep, exactly. Work Your Light. What the crumbling? What are you clinging to? Hold on, so I can focus. Exactly. What is it that you're clinging to? Because I feel like truly This over here through this passage is what is inside of you. This is the light beaming down from the heavens. This is what is inside of you. But all this is where you're standing way back here, clinging to all that which has already falling, trying to make something already fallen, trying to make something from it, trying to say, well, this happened to me, and this is, this is why this here, because of you, and because of this, and because of that. And it just feels like a lot of attachment and a lot of clinging and a lot of placing blame in places that is just unnecessary for blame to be present. What are you clinging on to that is suggesting that the victory is somewhere outside of your own knowing and your own being? It's definitely the way you view accountability and responsibility. It's because you want other people to take accountability and responsibility for the role that they play in your life, in their own life too. But when you do that, you have to understand that you also are experiencing that same medicine. Okay, so this is to say that if you want people to take responsibility for how they're showing up in your life, then guess what? You have to take responsibility for the way in which you're showing up in their life as well. And if you're withholding, guess what? What are you clinging to? This is that withholding energy that we were talking about. You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? And again, I'm not actually, you know what? I am saying these messages to trigger you. I want you to be upset and to feel this energy move and to release it and to feel it, because it's true. If it's resonating, that means there's some part in your body that knows it is true and it's working its magic through you. This is movement. So much we want movement to be something outside of us, like a windfall of money or some type of new job or new opportunity. We all want the Ace of Pentacles. We're not trying to touch on that Ace of Cups energy. That Ace of Cups energy in reverse half the time. So this is like you understanding more about your own self and the places in which you're holding back. And again, maybe it will lead to a fight. Maybe it will lead to a confrontation. Maybe it will lead to some explosive. But maybe that's what this situation needs. This is also too, like, realizing that you don't always know what every situation needs. Like, you don't always know what is best in every situation. Because what is happening for everybody in the situation, not just you and what favors you or what is pleasant for you, but this is for everyone involved. This is for everyone in the situation. This is for the situation in its entirety, in its wholeness, and what is happening through this situation too, how you're all growing, how you're all manifesting, how you're all shifting and changing and learning and gathering wisdom. This is not just about you. And I feel like the truth that needs to be said is that this isn't all about you. Everything is not about you. You want to be the center of attention and you want to be the center of everything. And truthfully, if that is the case, you need to be the center of your own self. And I don't mean that in a way that takes you away from compassion, or helping or being of service to other people. However, you need to be the center of your own self. Because you have an allure, you have a magnetism about you. Like, attracting things that you want is not the problem. This is you being centered within your own self, trusting that you are designed to sit in the seat of your own power and put that accountability and responsibility on your own self to trust you, to love you, to know you, to choose you, not for other people to do that. And I honestly feel like if you honor that, you will feel a shift. You absolutely will. You're going to feel a shift. No doubt about it. because this is all happening for you. Like, spirit is trying it, like its damnedest to like reroute you and get you to like see that it's like you're begging for clarity and how do I do this, or how do I achieve this, or how do I move through this. And spirit is like literally directing you in your literal immediate everyday life, and you're avoiding it because you think that like somehow the linear is below you or something like that, which it's not. Like, the linear is literally where we're coming to experience ourselves, and each other as spirit. We're spirit experiencing itself. The linear life is the beautiful life. It's what we actually want to be doing. We just try to convince ourselves that we don't. So this is definitely the medicine here for you, is to realize what it is that you're clinging to. And I honestly feel like you're clinging to some type of warped idea of responsibility and accountability, and you think that somehow if you force someone else to take responsibility on what you think they need to take responsibility for, that means you have won, that is the victory. And that's just not the case. The victory is within you, realizing that you have the courage and the bravery to express your own truth and to be true to your own self. Trust your own inner knowing. That's where the victory lies. So I want to pull a final outcome card for you. And I didn't want to do this. And I said, I'm going to say this in every pile because there's someone else who I love dearly who does this. And I'll find my own language in which to deliver this. But it feels right to pull a final outcome for this energy. So with the processing of this energy, which is exactly what you're doing, you're just undergoing the process. You will come out on the other side. Choose wisely, I would say. Choose wisely. Well, what is the final outcome energy for you? Let's see. The miracles card looked at me, but I want to make sure. I want to double confirm if that is what is true. Whoa! Literally, all these cards are just flying out everywhere. Final outcome feels very hard to pinpoint. I feel like it almost like an energy of nothing is set in stone until you figure out what is true for you. But I still want to get something. I'm not going to give up. So let's see. Actually, what will help them get to this final outcome energy or reach this clarity? Can we have that? Beautiful. We have patience. Pause before you take action. Trust that divine timing is at work. Be patient and play whilst you wait. Exactly. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy to pair with this energy of accountability and and I just cut the deck and got freedom. Live wild and free. Choose your freedom. Claim your independence. Beautiful, beautiful energy. I honestly feel like the truth of the situation is that patience is what's going to lead you to, because it feels like, okay, that was makes sense. It's bringing clarity to what we talked about previously, but the language. So what they're saying is offer patience to yourself and patience to others while you grow through this energy, because what it seems is your motivation behind forcing or wanting people to take accountability is it's like you're trying to force their growth. You're trying to force their spiritual activation. You're trying to force this for your own self. And what's really happening is divine balancing, divine order, divine timing. And this is still, they're saying, this is still not to say that you can still project the victory on the other, on something outside of your own self. They're being very pinpoint anime about that. But the truth is that the victory and the success is within you. So be patient with your own self. Be wary in places in which you're blaming. because divine timing is not only working for you, not only working for, the moon and the stars, but it's working for every single human being and every single thing outside of you as well. So that makes total sense, because when the energy was flooding through with the card, I was like, wait. Let me translate this. It makes total sense, because what you're actually doing, at the core of what you're doing, there's love found there. There's love there, because you want people to realize what they're doing so that they can wake up to their actions, so that they can grow from those actions the same way you have. I see exactly what you're doing now. That makes total sense. Because you're like, oh, if they wake up and realize what they're doing, then they can move from it. They can heal from it, right? They can take accountability. They can take responsibility. They can put the power within their own self. But it seems like, too, this is the same medicine that you two are undergoing. So slow down. This message is definitely for me. So slow down. Be patient with yourself and others, and trust in divine timing. You're not gonna die before anything happens. You're not gonna, the world is designed to grow you, to influence you, to move you, to flow you. And that's exactly what it's doing. And it's putting you into proper positioning, and it's putting people, places, and things in your life to challenge you, to motivate you, to empower you, because it's the same energy that you're calling for. It's like you're manifesting this. It's the same energy that you're calling for on the outside. I mean, from the inside. It's what you're calling for. You're responding to your calling. It's what you're calling in. It's like, oh, I want something to empower me. Okay, we're going to give you this situation that's going to empower you. But when it shows up, it's challenging, because it's going to challenge a part of you that feels like it has been disempowered. You see what I'm saying? So definitely respect yourself. Respect other people. Respect is huge here. This is about respect, and respecting your boundaries, respecting other people's boundaries, respecting your journey, respecting other people's journey. A lot of respect needed here. And I feel like once you tap into respect, patience becomes is easy now, because you're respecting the journey, and you're showing respect and patience. Patience seems like it's a problem. And I know this because this message for me. And when you put respect into all things, that is what taps you into this free energy, because you're respecting that, hey, everything is exactly the way it needs to be. You see what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. So I hope that reading makes sense. Again, this is a little new for me and what I'm diving into, but I feel so good with this type of energy and this channeling. But I do, though, hope it resonated. And if it did not, that is okay. Take what did and the rest will fall away. You're not obligated to hold on to anything that is not yours, friend. So thank you so much for coming through, hanging out with my energy. Thanks for sharing your energy with me. Thank you so much to Spirit and our guides for coming through with some clarity. So I really hope you enjoyed this message again, and I hope to see you next time, next week. All right, friend. Bye-bye. Hello, group 3, for all of our friends who resonated with the energy of the honey calcite, who are tapping into this frequency. This will be your reading for today. So this will be our channeled message. If you did skip the intro, we're channeling. We will not be using tarot. We do have 2 oracle decks that we'll be using for confirmation and final outcome. However, this is all channeled messages, all channeled energy. So let's get into this. I'm so excited. The honey calcite has such a good energy about it. It's very invigorating. It's very responsive. Every time I tap into the energy of this stone, no matter how much I cleanse it and charge it and set it, it always holds this frequency of just leadership and stepping into your power, knowing who you are and trusting who you are. The Santa Gold song "Desperate Youth" is so It's like playing so loudly in my awareness right now. So the line in the song where she says, "Oh, they say our dreams will carry us, and if they don't fly, we will run." Group 3 is really, really like you have a dream, you have goals, you're very like you have a strong drive. Excuse me. You have a strong drive. Your solar plexus energy is like super radiant. It's like the sun. It's very beautiful. Actually, group 3, if I could ask you while you're watching to breathe into your solar plexus and into your root. Feel into the middle of your chest, right below the heart, right at the top of the belly, and your root. That space right between the thighs. Breathe right in there. You see the energy flowing in as ever you need it. Fill it with air there. Your I am presence is strong. You know who you are. There's a fear of solidifying this. When we step into the energy of your solar plexus, it's just like it, for some reason, it feels like infinity. It feels like a constant falling or void. Forever failing. As if you can't grip anything, as if you can't, like it's all slimy. As if it's all like unattainable or unattractive, or you can't grip onto anything solid. If you don't see a way, there is a way. There's always a way. You're always enough. If you don't see a way, you will make a way. And Spirit is going to make that way with you. And that is what is happening in your energy. I feel like peace will come into you if you sit with the energy of knowing that even if you don't see a way, there is a way. There's absolutely a way. That way is being prepared for you. It is designed for you. And what you're actually doing is traveling that way right now. So what I see here is your fear is that you're traveling in the wrong direction. There's a lot of like buildup, and I didn't feel this before this reading. For some reason, there's like a lot of buildup in my like throat and like nose, like some type of congestion. There's some congestion, like some mucus, like some phlegm, like something that needs to like be blown out. Really, 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 like it feels like like for some reason you feel like you're traveling the wrong way, and you're not. The literal thing that you're doing right now is traveling the way that you were meant to travel. You're making the choices and you're doing the things to get you there. It seems like, of course, it's going to tie into group 2, but it seems like all you need is a little more patience, a little more respect for yourself, and a little more appreciation for what you're doing. For some reason, you feel like all the things that you desire are going to be washed away, or they're not going to happen. But really, what is happening is they're a byproduct of what it is that you're growing. It's a byproduct of you stepping onto your destiny. And by you stepping onto your destiny, you're not only helping yourself, you're helping other people. This is a collective destiny that we're reaching, not just a singular one. This is something that we're doing collectively. You're not doing this alone. You're not doing this by yourself. We're all doing this to some degree. We're all reaching. We're all stretching. We're all awakening. We're all motivating. We're all influencing. We're all doing this in some type of way. We're all playing our roles. So to think that you are not, or to try to separate yourself from this, is when you fall into this place of nothingness, or what you call avoid. This is what you're doing. Avoiding. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see how that little magic happens like that? I feel like the truth is, if you realize the truth that you're avoiding, which is the truth of your own power, which is the truth of you knowing what you know and feeling what you feel, and you know it's true. It's important for you to realize that everything is part of this awakening. Everything, not a single atom in this galaxy or in this universe is left untouched by what is happening. So it's important for you to realize that you're a part of this happening as well. Oh, that's that movie's name. I was thinking about that movie, The Happening, and I couldn't remember his name. That's what it is, I think. The Happening. It's happening. It's not something that you are beginning or starting or ending. It is happening. It's all happening simultaneously. You are beginning and starting and doing and finishing simultaneously, and we all are. I feel like it's important for you to hear that we are all doing this. Your friends, your family, your co-workers, your boss, the people that you see on TV, the people that you see on in movies and influencers and whatever else. Every single human being is doing, to a degree, the same exact thing that you are doing, which is awakening. It does not matter where they are. You do not get to tell people where they are, as in, you don't get to say, well, you're here and you're below me, or you're here or you're higher than me. You don't get to say that. I think that you need to take a little more of the responsibility of delegating who is what and where and how from yourself, because you don't get to determine that. That is determined by spirit and what is happening collectively. Where your focus should be is determining what is important for you and what is important for your own self, because there is definitely a judgmental energy here. It's very judgmental, and I say this not to be a jerk, but because we all judge, we all are judgmental to a certain degree. But what happens when you're judgmental is you're using the energy of judging others to boost your own self, when you don't need that boost in energy. The energy that you're taking away from others, you don't need that in your own self. What you need to do is respect and have admiration for and appreciation for your position to actually help people, to guide people to clarity, to be of service is what is happening, and be less judgmental of what's happening for others, and allow others to be others, and allow your truth to be your truth, and allow their truth to be their truth. If you want your truth to be your truth for yourself, guess what? You have to respect the fact that it is the same for others, no matter how crazy or messed up or twisted it may be. Every single being is playing their role, and they're playing it effectively and efficiently. And I think this is what you need to get through your head. This will help you get out of your own way. This also means not judging your own frequency. This also means not judging what is true for you. If you feel like you're someone who you want to go out and protest, you want to go out and help, you want to dive into things a little more politically, then allow yourself to do that. That is your truth. That is your power. This is you seeing something, a place in which you can bring some soothing, some guidance, some help. This is you seeing where you can be of service. Okay? But it's not for you to judge how other people are working through their own conditioning. It's not for you to judge how other people are working through their own awakening. It's not for you to judge. They're saying, like, thou who not sin shall cast the first stone. And like everybody in this frequency is just like, You know, the conceited meme where he's just like, ooh, yikes, you know, because it's like you've done plenty of what you would consider wrong. You've done plenty of what you would consider good. That is all duality. What we're awakening to is wholeness, which is beautiful. And duality is beautiful in its own right. And it's what's leading us to wholeness. And what it's really important for you to understand that justice will be served. That there is balancing, that there is karmic resolution that is outside of what you think it should be. Because what you want mainly is for karma to like be at your drum. You want karma to be more vengeful. You want karma to be more of, I'm taking revenge, you know, or this is happening because you suck and you're all terrible people. Like, no, there's more beauty and balancing at play than that. And what is also beautiful is that spirit loves everything. The core of everything is love. The core of every drop of healing that you're ever going to do is love. And what you're doing is healing. What you're doing is moving and motivating and influencing and offering and radiating in a beautiful, beautiful way as well. But it's really important for you to understand that other people are doing the same thing, and they're striving for and reaching the same thing. And they're trying to reach these levels of clarity just like you are, of self, you know? And we will all be led there in our own right, in our own way, in our own timing. Okay? So it's not for you to judge where someone is or where someone isn't. Really, the best thing you can do is motivate, is teach, is help, is to be of service, and not being so judgmental and rigid and like not allowing people to feel what they need to feel for their own bodies and their own energy and their own fields, you know? And that goes for your family, your friends. It actually goes more so for your family and your friends. Because the thing about this energy is you have to respect that the same thing that is happening to you is happening to them in their own timing. So it's important that you have respect for that. And you give them space for that. And you also give yourself space for that. This does not mean that you need to overcompensate. Because I hear you like, so what am I doing? Do I have to overcompensate? What you're already doing by judging is overcompensating, is trying to be a savior, is trying to, you know, push people in a direction that they're not going. They're going in their own direction, not the direction you want them to go into. So, and I'm totally resonating, by the way. Like, if you're hearing this message and it's hurting and it's triggering and, you know, you're feeling some type of way, oh, I'm feeling the same thing. I'm feeling the exact same thing. Because I'm just telling you what's coming up and I'm telling you what's true. You know what I'm saying? What I feel is true coming through this channel. And if you are resonating and if it's moving energy in your body, that means that this medicine is for you, my dear. This medicine is for you. You know it's medicinal when energy is moving, when you're feeling. Even if you're resisting, it's even more so for you. If you're hating and it's causing some type of anger or frustration or hate within you, then it's even more so medicinal for you. So, this is you understanding that it's important to check in with where you're resonating and understand that the same thing that's happening in your life is happening in other people's lives around you. And it's not for you to pick and choose and judge and try and get some weird, like, twisted sense of justice out of what you're doing. This is for what is happening. You know, the energies that are present are here for the all of humanity, not just you. They're not just coming through you or your friends. You know, it's coming through for all of humanity. And it's important that you realize that. Because this gets you out of avoidance. And it places you in the seat of your power. And it places you in a position to appreciate what you're doing and appreciate what's happening and appreciate the world and appreciate your family and appreciate your friends. and have respect for what they're doing and respect them, and not more so put them in, try to other them, or they're doing this wrong, or they're doing this right, or I'm doing this wrong, or I'm doing this right. It removes this right or wrong feeling that you try to cling to. And like they're saying, it removes it on a consistent basis. It removes it consistently. It's so funny. So let me pull a work your light card to see. I already know what card it is. I cut for the card and I saw it and I was like, I'll shuffle it back in and see if it comes out. But it was like, don't you put me back in here. The card for this energy is Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realms. And of course this card will come out. Of course this card will come out because it's the Council of Light. This is knowing that every single atom, every single thing in existence right now is under divine orchestration. And no, this is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to respond truthfully and actively to the energy that you're experiencing. It's funny enough, because I wasn't going to say this, but funny enough, bottom deck is part of your energy, and it says no, wait, postpone, pause, say no. Sorry, you couldn't even see the energy, but for some reason it's important for you to say no to something. I'm trying to reach, reach what it's important for you to say no to. Because it feels more than just like the judgmental energy. It's important for you to say no to doubt. It is important for you to say no to self-sabotage. It is important to say no to negative thoughts that don't positively benefit you. Now, that's different from constructive criticism, right? That's different from you doing something and you know it was wrong and then you feel bad about it, and then how you honor the guilt and the shame is, apologizing and then also still loving yourself regardless. It is extremely, extremely important for you to say no to doubt. And I feel that in my heart. I feel that fear in my heart. Like, oh my goodness. It is so there's a knot in your heart, and that knot is extreme fear and doubt. It is doubt in its highest degree. Truthfully. It is doubt in the highest degree. And they want me to share how I got this messaging because oh my God, I've been doing some doubt alchemy. They want me to admit this and speak it because it might help someone, out there. So I've been working with doubt alchemy and working with the truth of how I doubt myself, how I doubt my channeling, how I doubt, the messages that I receive, how I just doubt. I doubt everything. And when I wanted to tap into the energy of what it was important for you to say no to, this is kind of embarrassing to admit. So when I went into and I was like, what am I supposed to say no to? What is this energy? What are we supposed to be saying no to? And when I went into that energy, I was hit with doubt. I was hit with all these messages of anger and like, Carmilla, you don't know what you're doing. You suck at this. You're not channeling. You need to, like, this isn't good energy. This is all bad. Like, you're the worst. Like, why are you doing this? You know, go back to what you were originally doing. Like, I got hit with an onslaught of, yep. And now that I'm sharing, my third eye is like, woohoo, is like so like activated. It's like I hear cheering and feel cheering, because I went inside and I hit this doubt that I thought was real, and I thought that the doubt was the real me. I thought that the doubt was like, yeah, Carmilla, you suck. You know, you're bad. Like you know, you need to go back to what you're originally doing. Like you're not good enough for this. Like this is not what you're supposed to be doing. This is not your life. You know, like this is not for you. And when I was sitting there with the energy, I was like, whoa, is this benefiting me? Is this energy right? Is this energy what it's saying? Is it true? And I felt the answer was no. And I didn't want to admit it was no, because I still want to identify with the doubt. I still want to say that I'm not good enough. I still want to identify with inadequacy. You see what I'm saying? Like, I still have a desire to identify with the inadequacy, because it reroutes me. It pushes me into a void. Wow, that clarity, boom, right there. It pushes me into a void. Doubt pushes me into a void. And I really had to make that conscious shift and say, no, actually, I'm fine with what I'm doing. This is all divinely orchestrated. The Council of Light is literally here. What I'm doing is not rooted in some type of separation from source or my own knowing and my own truth. What I'm actually doing is relaying how I'm feeling and what is showing up honestly. And that's the best that I can do. And I can't do anything else than that, you know? I can't do anything more. I can't be anything else besides me. And doubt puts me in a position to avoid me. To void me. And it takes me out of my proper positioning. It takes me out of the frequency that I've been manifesting and that I've been evolving for and evolving into. And doubt is a crushing hammer of a frequency. And now that I'm sitting in this energy, I'm seeing how it has made me stronger. And I see how it has put me in a proper position to know how important it is for me to appreciate the power of my choosing. Because the fear of your choice is the power of your choice. What you choose is shifting. What you choose creates shifts. And it's important for you to set boundaries and say no with energies that don't support you and that don't empower you, that don't validate you, in the sense that if there's redirection, there'll be redirection in which you're going. You'll know. But if there's something in you that is belittling, demeaning, that is harmful, then it is important that you do not support that kind of behavior within your own self. And that's where you're judging other people. You're seeing that they're supporting behavior within their own self that is harmful, that is not beneficial. And it's important for you to get to that medicine too. dive into the medicine of choosing what is actually beneficial to you and your being. Even if that's something you don't want to do, you'll know if it's beneficial. Like, hey, I don't want to exercise, but it's beneficial. I don't want to, eat this salad today, but it's beneficial to me. I don't want to have this conversation with this person, but I know that having this conversation will be beneficial to me. So it's even with things that you don't want to do, where you know whether or not it is actually beneficial to you. And you see where people in their own lives are exhibiting this same behavior, and what they're doing is they're reflecting this back to you, so that we all can help each other find proper footing, proper positioning during this awakening process. It is so extremely, incredibly important for you to say no to doubt. Don't dim yourself to fit in. Don't dim yourself to stay within a certain group or a clique. Don't dim yourself to try and be like other people and be like everyone else. Don't dim yourself, because there's so many beautiful things happening in you and around you. So it's really important that you ground this energy of power and your I am presence is strong. And I think that if you put more energy into it and you trust it, you'll undoubtedly get to where you're going. Undoubtedly. Doubt is like the hammer in your energy. It's almost like acting as like a blacksmith energy, but there gets to a point where the metal has been overworked. So with this energy, with this frequency of doubt, because I was like, there has to be something more than just judgment here. There's something more than just that energy. It's the way you're doubting your own self. It makes you doubt other people. It makes you doubt what they're doing. And it really, what they're doing is reflecting that energy back to you. And you're working with people who are working with the same energy, a same frequency, a similar medicine, so that you can all come above, so that you can all reach it, so that you can all heal it. So let's pull a final outcome for this energy of working through this doubt and judgment and stepping into your I am presence and the seat of your power. What is final outcome with this energy? Of course. Hope. They're like, hope crushes all doubt. That's so beautiful. Hope is the final outcome for this energy. Stay positive. The worst is behind you. Look up to the light with hope. And I want to show you bottom deck too, because I've showed bottom decks to every other group. Bottom deck. Abundance. Enjoy the bounty of life. Your supply is unlimited. Blessings are coming to you. And if I just gotta be honest, that is the most beautiful feeling. I have the most beautiful feeling in my heart right now. I'm gonna go have to dance some K-Tronada after this. This is such a beautiful reading, Group 3. Really, really soothe yourself with peace and hope by saying no to doubt. And you will undoubtedly see how this shifts your relationships and the way and how you relate to other people. I promise you it will. Promise you. Shift your energy from doubt into hope. Say no to doubt. Set that boundary with doubt. Hey, doubt, I understand what you're saying, but that's not for me. And I promise you your energy will shift. I promise you. So that's why we got going, Group 3. This is beautiful energy. Thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with me. I feel some congestion, like drainage coming through me right now. So that's why you hear me rubbing my nose. But thank you so much for coming through and hanging out with me today and for allowing me to sit with your energy. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And thank you so much to Spirit and our guides and our ancestors and our soul family and all of humanity, really, with this reading. Thank you so much for coming through. I really, really do hope this reading resonated. And if it did not, that is absolutely okay. Take what did and the rest will fall away. You are not obligated to hold on to anything that is not yours. But I hope it did because it's a beautiful reading. So I really, really hope to see you next time with another round of channeled message readings, my friend. So see you next time, friend. Bye-bye. Hello, group 4, for all of our friends who chose the selenite crystal. This will be your channeled message for today. So again, just as a heads up, if you skip the intro, this will not be a tarot reading. This is a channeled message for what you need to hear right now. This is working through a lot of energy, bringing a lot of clarity. So it's really been nice. We do have 2 oracle decks that I've been using for confirmation and to help with energy flow or trust or inner knowing, and mainly it's for me, but it's fun to share with you as well. So messages have been really fun. So let's see what we're getting with group 4. The messages are always so much for me as they are the viewer, the person receiving the reading. They're saying that the truth is that there's no need to be so divisive. There is no need to be either or. There's no need to try to decide between multiple things because the possibilities are endless. There are endless things. There's so much that you can be experiencing. There's so much that you can be feeling. There's so much in the world. There's so much in frequency. There's so much in this frequency. Because there is. And there's a lot of vibrance, a lot of light, a lot of love, a lot of radiance, really. And I feel like it takes like the moving through in energy, a breakthrough, or like a moving through really thick energy to kind of like come on the other side and feel like empowered. This is funny enough too, because this is like a challenging energy, because it's like you're standing up to your old self and almost like fighting with your old self. And it's like this new energy that you're holding is requesting dominance. Like it's requesting a takeover. Like it's really, 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 really important for you to focus on embracing what is new and what is true for you. It is important to embrace what is true and what is new for you, because that is where your new frequency really expands, and that's where your new frequency, or the new frequency that you've stepped into, that's when it fully flourishes. That's where it fully flourishes, is when you step into this knowing of you. So it's like you already have everything inside of you. You know what's true. You know what you need. Like, you know what is true for you. It's really just doubt that is really, really anchoring you. And doubt is trying to anchor you into a reality or even a timeline that is no longer supporting you or designed for you. So it's really important to release doubt. And when I say release doubt, doubt is one of those energies where you face it and you have to make a conscious shift to set a boundary. Doubt is one of those energies, those internal places inside where there needs to be respect. This is where you use your self-discipline to show yourself some respect and have some integrity. Think highly of yourself. This is all about your self-esteem. This is all about your confidence and how you feel about yourself. This is not about how other people feel about you. This is not how worthy or unworthy other people think you are. This is not about deserving anything. This is not about punishment. This is not about reward. This is not about any of that. This is about having enough self-discipline to say that doubt, no. No, doubt, no. Because doubt clings you to it binds you to so much old guilt and conditioning and things that truly just need to be let go. It anchors you into an old timeline that you're releasing and that you're actively trying to release, and that you're wondering, when will it be gone? Well, it'll be gone when you stop doubting your own self and stop doubting your own ability. That's when it'll be gone. And you'll see this energy trickle into your life day by day, by moment, second by second. You'll see this energy trickle into your life, and you've already been seeing it. It's just you are resisting the clarity of that because of doubt. Doubt is what's anchoring you into this reality. Doubt is what's anchoring you. And there's a new reality for you, and you're like, ooh, like it challenges so much of your existence. It challenges your identity. It challenges who you believe yourself to be and who you already are. And there is a lot of changing that's happening. There is a lot of shifting. There is a lot altering. Your life is going to look different. The people that are around you and the places that you occupy will look different. Absolutely. You are correct. Doubt, my dear, is what is anchoring you into this old reality of guilt and of shame and of misinformed resentment and energy too. It's a doubt that's anchoring you into this old mismatch of you. Because what it is like a mismatch. It's a mismatching. What happens is when you believe in doubt, then it mismatches the energy that is coming into you with the frequency that you're putting out. It becomes like say the energy that's coming into your life is like a three-pronged plug, while the socket that you have has only two. Well, it's not going to be able to go in because you only have the two little prongs while it has the three. It's offering more power and more ability and more love and more compassion. It's offering an entire plug-in into a new reality. And what you have to do is plug out of the old one and plug into the new one. But you're still plugging into doubt because doubt is safety. Doubt is trauma bonding. They want me to say that again. Doubt is trauma bonding. Doubt is trauma bonding. Doubt is trauma bonding. Doubt is guilty and shame. And the thing about these things is these are energies that you can feel yourself. And these are energies that you can feel in lower frequencies, but you are feeling them in extremes and you are listening to them. You're responding to them in a way that gives them power over you or over your say-so. You're listening to these energies as if they're your highest authority, and they are not. This is the climb for you. This is what you're climbing. This is what you're surmounting, is understanding that doubt is not your frequency. It's not where you want to be aligned. But you think it is because it feels safe. It feels like safety, but it's not. It's literally just squeezing the life out of all the energy that you're calling in. And it's giving you the crumbs. And you're just like, why am I just getting crumbs of this energy? Why am I just getting like the little bits and pieces? And truly, it's not about doubting the energy or doubting spirit or God or whatever. It's about you doubting you. It's how you doubt your own self and your own capabilities. And it seems like, too, look at that. Look what flew out. Birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Exactly. That's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. And look at that. Bottom deck on Work Your Light. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Exactly what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying. There is no need for you to doubt your own self. This is where your energy, that's where your energy leak is. You have to set boundaries with people who doubt you, with the way you doubt yourself. I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to say no to that inner voice inside of you that wants to belittle you and hate you and eviscerate you. It is extremely important that you say no to that voice and you set boundaries with that voice, because what happens is it needs to be understood that that inner voice is not of you. That inner voice is internalized self-hate that has been projected onto you by your friends, by your family, by society, and what you see on TV and on social media. You are experiencing what it feels like to overcome internalized self-hatred. That is what you're doing. That is the process that you're in. So there's no doubt that you're going to get to where you're going. You're going to absolutely get to where you're going. You don't have to worry about that, because this is a process that you're undergoing. Where your attention needs to be is how you respond to doubt. What frequency are you choosing? Are you choosing to submit to doubt as if it's the higher authority? Are you putting your power into doubt? Or are you choosing to put your higher authority and your submission into love, into love, into love? Put it into love. I cannot stress this enough. And believe me, this message is just as much for me as it is anybody watching. So please don't think that I think I'm better because I'm saying it, because I'm relaying it. No, it's coming through me because it's being processed through me the same way it's being processed through you. It is important for you to recognize the energy of your choosing, the energy of your choosing, the energy that you're choosing. This is a conscious shift. If there's any place in which you have to do it consciously, where you can't just do it passively, it is with doubt. Doubt is where you need to do it consciously, where you just have to say, you just have to grit your teeth through the doubt and just do the thing. And trust. And say, doubt, I can't believe you. This is where you say, not today, Satan. Because doubt is truly the enemy. If there is any enemy, any low frequency being or some type of being trying to thwart all of your energy, it's all this doubt energy that has been built up through all the doubt energy that has been built up through your family and through your lineage and through all of time being is, this doubt energy. So this is you putting full trust in yourself. This is you understanding that the process that you're undergoing is releasing yourself of self-hate. You are releasing yourself of self-hatred. And you know where you're going. It's really important for you to set these boundaries with yourself for your own behavior, for other people as well. Because the beautiful thing is, when you set these boundaries for other people, when you set boundaries for other people, like say you have someone in your life who is really someone who hates themselves, and they always kind of get off on hating themselves, and they're always really self-deprecating and stuff. Even when you say, hey, listen, I hear you and I understand you, but I'm not enabling this behavior. When you set boundaries for that, besides being so complacent and letting it slide, that to them shows that you love them and you see and feel their highest visioning and their highest potential. And you feel it's a reflection of, you're giving them permission to feel the same way. And it's important for you to do that for your own self. When you stand in your own power, you give people permission to stand in their own power. And if there are people who are frightened by you, by you standing in your own power, guess what? It has nothing to do with you. It has only everything to do with the fact that they're afraid of standing in their own power. This is you going through the motions of what it is to release yourself of self-hate and to love yourself and to tap into true self-love. True freedom is loving yourself and not being afraid to do so. That's what true freedom is, and that's where you'll find it. That is exactly where you'll find everything that you've been wishing for, hoping for, is trapped under your ability to respond to self and love yourself. It is all trapped under your ability to respond to self with love, because love is healing, and love is the only thing that's going to do the work. And you're not going to get there by bullying yourself, and you're not going to get there by belittling yourself, and you're not, because the only reason you're doing that is for other people. It's the energy that you've been fed and you've been conditioned to believe, because you see other people bully themselves and you see other people belittle themselves because they don't want to be so activating. They want to be humble and modest, which it's really easy actually to be humble and modest and love yourself at the same time. There needs to be, it's not either or. You don't choose to either love yourself or be modest and humble. You can do both, and you should do both, and that's what everyone should be doing is doing both. Is loving themselves enough to be true to their own glory and to bask in their own glory. And to love themselves enough to know that no one else outside of them can take that love away from them. And to know that, and to love themselves enough to know that this beautiful feeling isn't unique to them. It's not unique to you. Everyone on the planet should feel this feeling. Every single human being on the planet should love themselves enough to know that they are glorious and that they are beautiful. And in that way, with that shared love, they can love each other the same way, despite differences. Despite the differences that make our world a beautiful place to exist within. Loving yourself gives permission to other people to love themselves. And of course, they'll have to do shadow work. And of course, they'll have to go through healing. And of course, they'll have to go through alchemy. And of course, they'll have to go through letting the past them go. And of course, they'll have to experience, reflections and tasting their own medicine, because it's medicinal. Of course, they're going to experience some of the things that you're experiencing in their own way and on their own journey. Of course they are. But that's not for you to decide when or how or who. This is for you to analyze and clarify where you are in your journey and keep going, because it's a beautiful thing, and you inspire people through loving you. You're not doing it through bullying. And I feel so badly, and this is for me too, I feel so badly like this desire to just shrink and bully myself and be like, no, shut up, you can't say this. But love is healing, and love is the only thing that's going to get you through this. I promise you that. When you love yourself, you give other people the permission to do the same. And everyone should feel the love for self that you're feeling, or that you're manifesting, and that you're wanting to feel. Because the process that you're undergoing is a process of relieving yourself of self-doubt and hatred. Because what you're dealing with is absolute self-hatred. And this is what's going to bring you peace. This is what's going to bring you ultimate peace. This is what's going to bring you everything in your life that you've been wanting, that you've been feeling that you need in your life to feel abundant and full and whole. It's love. You're not going to bully your way there. You're not going to bully other people there. You're not going to coddle or enable them there either. You're going to love them there. And love is truth, and love is sweetness, and love is also ferocity, and boundaries, and saying no, and telling the truth, honesty. Love is just as much honesty and boundaries as it is gentleness and sweetness and kindness. It is the same energy, different side of the coin, whatever is needed for the alchemy. If you just have to be honest with someone and say, hey, what you're saying is hurting my feelings, or hey, I'm sorry about how I hurt you. If you have to be honest, that is love. The core of that is love. And of course, I'm sitting over here shuffling for final outcome, and look what card we get. We get healer. You have powerful healing gifts. Have faith in your abilities. Stay true to your path as a healer. And bottom deck, cycles. Everything has its right time. Honor the cycles of your body. Tune into the moon's magic. Exactly. What you're doing is huge. And what you're learning to do is transform and transmute every single thing, because the anger card keeps popping out too. Anytime I cut, no matter how much I shuffle for this group, I keep seeing the anger card, and I'll show you and read it. Safely express your anger. Use anger as a positive force. Honor all of your emotions as sacred. Exactly. Honor what you're feeling, but allow them to be transmuted into positive force. That is what you're doing. That is how you're learning how to heal, and that's how you're self-activating, is learning how to transform them into positive force. So imagine when you're setting boundaries, what you're doing is they're saying you're routing the riverbank. You're rerouting the riverbank. You're routing the flow of energy. You're taking the power into your own hands, which is what you should be doing. You're tapping into your own divine flow. And you're transmuting all the energies that are already present within you into positive force. And that's a really, really beautiful thing to hear and feel and to see and to be. And I really, really hope you're resonating with this energy, because it's really beautiful. So you're definitely healing. And what you're doing right now is self-activating, so you know what that healing looks like, so that you know that you have the tools, so that you know that it's something that you can do and you can do consistently. Because again, I said this in another group, if you think it's something that you're going to find outside of you, if you think it's something that someone else needs to be doing for you, you're not going to find the healing. You're not going to have the blueprint. The blueprint is inside of you. And it is something that you're co-creating with the entire world, with humanity. And it's really important for you to understand that this is not about only you or what you're reaching towards, what you're striving for in this material life. That is all literally a byproduct of what you're doing for not only yourself, but everybody and everybody around you. So it's really important for you to realize how powerful of a move it is for you to love you, and you to love yourself regardless, and to love yourself consistently, and to choose you, to choose yourself, to choose yourself, to choose your own power, and to choose to step into your own power and what you know is true and right for you. Not for anybody else, not for your friends, not for your family, not for what keeps you in little cliques or whatever, not for what you think what people want to hear. This is you being true to you, and true to your boundaries, and true to what's sacred to you and what you're feeling. And love is going to heal this. Love is absolutely positively going to heal this, because you're getting to where you're going. You're birthing a new age, and that's what you're doing. An age of self-love, an age of self-activating, an age of self-actualizing for not only self but humanity. It's very, very beautiful. This is a mass awakening. I think it's really important for you to understand that you're not left out of this at all. So you don't have to keep avoiding. You're going to get to where you're going regardless. So it's a beautiful, beautiful energy. So that is your message for today, Group 4. I really, really hope that it resonated with you. And if it did not, that is okay. Take what did, and the rest will absolutely fall away. You're not obligated to hold on to anything that's not yours. So thank you so much again for coming through, hanging out with my energy, and sharing your energy with me. It's such a beautiful feeling. Thank you so much to Spirit and to our guides and the moon and the stars and the sun and our ancestors. Thank you all so much for doing what you're doing. And holding the energy and sharing the way that you're holding and sharing is very, very, we can't thank you enough. So I appreciate you so much, Group 4. I really, really hope that you found some type of clarity in this reading. And I hope that I will see you next time, friend. Bye-bye.